was so bright. Won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
I have
Uh-huh.
cancer. Keep recording it. Keep
Yeah,
recording it.
yeah, I am. Well, there's your intro for the day. Everybody, welcome,
Well,
man.
Tyler's probably playing. Are you playing your Christmas theme in the background, Chewy?
Something like that, yeah.
All right, well, let's get started. Everybody, welcome in. Thank you for joining in for another lovely day. First and foremost, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's still laughing, but fuck it. Uh, Not a whole lot of news came out this week. Nothing that I actually particularly cared about. There's a few little tidbits, but they're going to kind of slide in with the topic of the day. First and foremost, welcome in Dadalorian and welcome in Wookie. Harry
Hello there.
Ariel is not going to be with us today, or Eli, or whatever you want to call him. He is doing family things. So
Next week, though.
next week he will be back apparently. So we're looking forward to that. So it's just the OG crew right now. I hope you're cool with that. Throat's a little dry.
The OG, the real ride or die.
Yeah. So tell me, Dallas, how was your week, buddy?
Long.
Yeah? What you been playing,
Just
bud?
long. Video game? What did I play? I think I hopped on Fortnite a little bit more than usual. My brothers wanted to play, and then we did the firefight with you, the King of the Hill firefight.
Mm-hmm.
We also did that with David and Daniel for a little bit. They liked it.
Of course
They weren't
did.
crazy. Yeah, well, they weren't crazy about it. They were still trying to get me to purchase MW3, and I said it's not happening. And
Bruh.
David's like, but he was like, it's 30% off though. I'm so tempted. I was like, you can spend your own money. I already told you, man. If he's like, well, I'm just
If I
he's
get
not
it.
buying it. Yeah, he's gonna do it. He'll do it. I told him to just wait. I said it's gonna be free next year.
I just don't get the point of Call of Duty anymore, man. It
I
don't
feel
make
that.
any sense to me at all. Why
Like I said,
anybody wants to play that?
like I said, it's mainly campaign driven for me. I'm willing to take a look at it if the campaign's good, but if it's not, then I'm not touching it. Sorry.
Oh, like recently?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that firefighting mode. We played it as you spoke about it. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I had it mixed up with the previous mode from Halo 5 that I really enjoyed, which was called Warzone, correct?
Yeah, it was Warzone Firefight is what it was called.
Yeah, and I
Where
really
you're
enjoyed
given
that
time.
mode. I like being able to, what's it called, the wreck packs or whatever, and you can unlock
Yep.
a car or a gun. That's the mode that I really enjoyed.
It was their way of getting microtransactions in.
Right. Yeah.
Was the
And
right pack.
I love that mode. I think that's probably my favorite time ever playing Halo out of any of the games. Oddly
I mean,
enough.
it's. I think it's still technically on YouTube, unless you took it down. It's like a 2-hour video of us just being young and dumb, and
Yeah, it is still up actually. I'm pretty sure it is.
because every time I went to go visit your channel, it was always there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Let me look real quick. Nope.
Oh, you took it down?
It may have been one that was flagged for something, so I removed anything that was
Does-
flagged.
It does not surprise me if it was flagged. I really remember a lot of what was said. It'd go from fun to demonetized real quick.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That was back in the day when I wasn't trying to like
Make money.
Yeah. I'm not so concerned about making money now, but I mean, I'd like for this to become some kind of a form of career.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Have a friend that's making money off of playing video games, that'd be sweet.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'd love to be able to take care of my homies in a different way, if you know what I mean. You didn't see that, did you?
No, he's probably playing his Total War mod game right now and listening to us at the
No,
same
no,
time, aren't you?
no. I heard that.
Look at him.
I was just like,
Look at him.
I was like, good, okay.
Wait, so you're
Don't worry
not
about
playing
it.
Total War?
I mean, I'm not gonna say that.
Ah, see, yeah, he's playing his Total War.
That's fair. So you're playing it right now while talking. Tell me what kind of match you got going on right now.
So right now, I am the dwarves fighting against the who are they? Rune? The guys you saw with the uh, gold armor in the Return of the King.
Oh,
See, he
okay.
modded. Yeah, he threw some mods on Total War, and
Gotcha.
But I'm still heavily dedicated right now to the podcast.
Whatever you say, buddy. Whatever makes you feel comfortable at home. I don't care. All right. So, you've been playing Total War. Sounds like you're still playing it. That's a fun time. I have been playing a lot of Overlord. And if you guys don't know what Overlord is, it's a classic game where you pretty much just kill a bunch of things. Bad guys, good guys, doesn't matter what it is. You're just an evil doer, and you have these little tiny minions, and you can make them do whatever the hell you want. It's awesome. Give it a shot. It's on Steam right now. It's for sale. I think I bought it for like $1.99. So if you haven't already, definitely check out that Steam Winter Sale. There's a lot of good stuff on there. I bought a lot of Final Fantasy games, Overlord. I can't remember what else I bought. I spent so much money already. So there's that. Tyler has been playing a little bit of Valhalla, man. Let's catch up on that, buddy. How you doing on that?
Oh, I'm still stuck in the same spot. I haven't gotten to.
I don't
I
think
have
he's
not
touched it at all
beaten.
this week.
You haven't what?
No, I did for a little bit, but I'm still.
Oh, you
I
did?
haven't. Yeah, for a little bit, but I've not been able to get tier second time. I
Okay.
get there, and then it's always the time stuff, or not the time ones, but the get to 4. Yeah, get to 4 of the little areas to defeat the enemies. If you don't
Oh,
defeat it within a certain
when you're
time, it gets.
slaying the chosen.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
that's
Yeah.
what gets me at them.
I had a little bit of a tough time starting that at first, but once you realize it's the same ads flying around, it's kind of a little bit easier. It just takes a little bit longer to kill them. Now, as far as the chosen, it's kind of different because they hit harder. So you really want to make sure you're on your tippy toes when you're doing all that, you know. Yeah. So, good luck playing that, man. Hope you catch up. Hope you keep playing that, knock it out, and get better, get good scrub. A big thing happened. Was it last week? I can't remember now. But it was something that I wanted to talk about. It was the 18th year of Kingdom Hearts 2. And that game holds a special part in my heart. It's one of my favorite games of all
Yeah.
time.
Absolutely.
And Dad Lauren, I know you've jumped in. You're in the middle of playing Dream Drop Distance now.
Yeah.
You're officially one game away from what's it called? Playing Kingdom
3?
Hearts 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just going over everything, dude. 1.5, 2.5, those HD remixes are absolutely fantastic. If you're on PC, they are on sale on the Epic Game Store. They have that stuff available on the Xbox now and on the PlayStation Store. You can also purchase cloud versions on Nintendo. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend you play any cloud version of any game, period. Unless you
I
have the
think you.
most amazing Wi-Fi ever.
I think if you're gonna play any Kingdom Hearts game and you just don't know if you're gonna be into it, the controls may be clunky, and you can definitely tell it's outdated. But play the first one. It's all around just a good feel-good game.
Yeah.
Like it hits some good Disney movies, of course, because it takes place in those universes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it really makes it. They do very very well with making you feel like you're Sora and it's his decisions, meaning your choices at the very beginning by choosing if you want to have the staff, shield, or sword.
Yeah.
Helps dictate what kind of game you're going to be playing. Which I found out canonically he chose the sword.
Yep.
I don't know if obviously I figured you knew that, but I didn't know that.
Right. Yeah. So happy birthday to Kingdom Hearts 2 there. If you haven't played any, get on and try at least one. I recommend starting with the first one because that's going to be the toughest one for controls.
Yeah.
To where, like, at least with the updated from where it was originally, if you play it now and you can get yourself involved with the story, it may seem a little bit more easier to get into and roll with rather than anything else. Yeah, you should definitely fly into it. It's a little bit of a huge timeline. So
Yeah.
don't let that, hold you back. If you have questions and you're starting to play it, reach out to myself or Dad Lorian. He's really starting to pick up on the lore a lot more and understand things.
It took me a long time to get into it. Like I wanted to play when I was a kid. It never came to fruition. And then seeing you, like I was with you when you got the PS4 Kingdom Hearts 3 edition.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was just, it was something I wasn't completely eager to jump into. But once I did, I was like, all right, here we go. And I loved it. It's just, I'm struggling with the game right now. And I'm just stuck. I'm just fucking stuck. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's a story of friendship, really. Uh,
Oh, you feel
so
for the characters too. Like they do really good.
yeah,
Like
it's amazing what they do, and
It's an amazing soundtrack as well.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it
Oh my god.
includes a lot of the Disney stuff already. So
Mm-hmm.
And thank God with since we all three have PS5s, like we can just watch people play and
yeah,
just be like, block, damn it, block, die. I'm fucking trying, Weston. Trying.
yeah. I spent a lot of my time watching you play through the PS5, which has been fun. I am currently waiting on him to get his shit together and beat all these games so I can stream them. Yeah.
I'm fucking. Damn it.
So let's
Weston's
encourage him
like,
so he can beat it.
he's like, my one wish for Christmas is for you to get your shit together so I can stream these games.
Yo, that's legit though. That is no joke. I have been waiting on you, and it's okay. Take your time, because I know when we step into 3, it's a fucking journey, bro. I mean, it's what caps off all of the games.
It's the
That very
Avengers
moment.
and end game of Kingdom Hearts, from what I've been told.
Yeah, and I can't wait to experience that with you. And I mean, I I can't wait for you to play it and just see the kind of finale of the Xehanort saga that's been dubbed from 1 to 3 and all the games in between, all those stories.
Yeah,
And
those stories.
you didn't have to wait, fucking 97 years like the chick from Titanic.
Yeah.
For the next game. You've had to wait a little bit, but By the
I mean,
time that game comes out, it'll be a little bit easier of a wait for you. Whereas I'm still kind of like clutching my hands right now, like waiting. You know, because I'm really impatient. Like, I want to see what worlds are there, right?
I'm very curious
So-
too. Like, we know they're bringing Star Wars.
Yeah,
They're coming with Star Wars. We know that for sure.
right. I am absolutely
It's
ready
gonna be
for Star
good.
Wars to be in Kingdom Hearts. It
We knew
makes
that. What?
it makes so much sense
Indoor?
to do it that way. Yeah, indoor is what it looks like.
Yeah, Indoor is one of the planets. What else? Surely, God, I bet they're going to be fucking doing new Disney shit too, like new Star Wars.
I hope fuck not. All fucking
I hope it's all original trilogy shit.
yeah, which is where they should start off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Just-
because
I feel-
I think you just keep it in the original trilogy. You never go into the prequels. You never go into the sequels at all. Period. For
Mhm.
the future.
I agree because that, like we said, the guy was a fan of that.
Yeah.
Oh, for people that don't know what we're talking about the creator of Kingdom Hearts. That guy.
Yeah, his name is Setsuda Nomura. And he is absolutely fantastic storyteller.
Very smart too. Very thorough. He's
Yes.
really good at pacing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the thing I was worried about when it comes to these games, especially Birth by Sleep. When you play 3 different perspectives, I was really worried about pacing.
Yep.
But Weston was telling me which one to start out with, and then just go from there. And holy shit!
Yeah, well, like I said, for anybody who is thinking about hopping into it or never has, if you have any questions, reach out. Let's talk about it. You know, I'll kind of explain everything to you. And
We'll spend all day talking about it.
yeah, I could talk all day about Kingdom Hearts easily. It's one of my favorite franchises of all time. We go Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, Jack and Daxter, Ratchet Clank, Sly Cooper, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. And then Zelda and Mario and all that other stuff. Pretty much anything Nintendo's on like a blanket space right there after 3. So that's just kind of how it is. You know, it is what it is. I like Zelda, but I love Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy more.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So that's pretty much it that I had for news, guys. That is like an actual story, kind of like an update for things. But there are a few little pieces I'm going to bring in to other parts. We usually divide everything up between, you know, PlayStation news, Nintendo news, and Xbox news. There really isn't much out, but I'm going to start off the day with Nintendo. Because most of this involves the next console coming up. So the Nintendo Switch 2, whatever you want to call it, the Nintendo Switch Pro, Switch Plus, whatever name you've come up with it. I am very excited for this console. Dadalorian, will you be picking this console up?
Yes, I am very eager to get the new Switch. One of the reasons because I am waiting to give the Switch that we currently have, which is, I think, is it first gen, Weston? It's not OLED. Right?
It is the first gen, yeah. Yep.
It is. It's not like it's not the very first one. It's the one after it, right? I don't know.
So it's the
Either
one
way.
with the upgraded battery.
Yes, that one.
Yep.
So
Red box.
I'm wanting to give that to my oldest.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm trying to get him off the 360
quiet.
train. I'm trying to get him off the 360 train over to the PS2 train, and it's not really working. So I'm really looking forward to the Switch coming out, because then at that point, it's like, hey, you can have an online account, and here's all these cool games that you can play.
Mm-hmm.
And he already likes playing some Fortnite. So there you go with that.
Yeah, good luck
Just
with all
free.
that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm looking at it a good side. I'd rather him be obsessed with Nintendo than Xbox.
That's fair.
It's so much. It's simpler. It's easier. There's more kid-friendly shit. So
mm-hmm. I want to play some video games, but most of the time I play it on a bigger screen. My monitor here. As far as hardware wise, I definitely would love to see obviously some more custom Joy Cons that have to do with Zelda. Anything Zelda edition, I'll take. I think the amiibos are done and over with. I think they need to stop investing in that and just move on.
yeah, I'm also tired of stuff being sold out all the time.
That
Like,
is so fucking annoying.
yeah, I'm tired of being like, hey, I might want to get, the N64, compatible
Yep.
controller and get those so we can play some Smash, or GameCube and play some Smash. And then they're always sold out.
Yeah.
And then I have to go to eBay, and it's like, well, I don't want to go to eBay
Mm-hmm.
because you're paying more at that point.
Right.
So Nintendo really needs to figure out. Like, I guess it's a good sign that they're always sold out, but as soon as they're on the website, they're gone within a couple seconds. It feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought both of mine that I have on eBay for $100 a piece. I couldn't wait. Uh, as soon as it was announced, I was ready to play, and ready to play Ocarina of Time on my Switch, ready to play
With the
Majora's
64
Mask on my
controller.
Switch. Banjo Kazooie games like that. I mean, I was ready. Now as far as the hardware side, obviously fix the supply stock and that stuff. I'd like to get maybe 2 more in case I have a couple people over. If I go over to their house, we can play the original Mario Party with
There we go.
regular controllers, or now with Pokemon Stadium being added in. I would love to be able to play those mini games, and it feel legit and nostalgic like it's supposed to. As far as software side, I mean, I know that I am ready to see the likes of Wind Waker, Zelda HD. This is a game that people have brought up and talked about a million times already. And where's it at? This thing should have already been on the Switch. But if you're saving it for the Switch too, I'm okay with that. You know why?
As
Because
long as it's
all these
coming.
Switch compatible games are going to be on the Switch too. And I will literally have been able to play every Zelda game on one console.
Stream it.
That's what I want. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to stream the Zelda games. Unfortunately, it seems like most of the time there are some multiplayer games that people want to play. But when there is time, free time, I like to stream some single player games and just hang out like we did last night playing Overlord. Another one I'd be looking for, obviously, is Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess HD would be phenomenal to have. We already have Skyward Sword. We already have. Yeah, that's it. I think that's literally it.
Do you think that Nintendo will ever come out? You know how PlayStation and Xbox got like the pedals and steering wheels and stuff like that. Do you think that they'll ever come out with like an arcade, or bring back the older arcade games that were like LA Rush or anything like that? But Nintendo comes out with like, here's you know here's the thruster button. You know what I'm talking about? I'm describing this terribly.
Yeah, you are.
You go you
Unfortunately,
go to an you go to an arcade, you hop in like the giant boat to
okay.
play
You're
like
talking about like an
Hydro Thunder.
arcade game.
Yeah. Do you think that they'll bring back any of those games? And if they do you think they'll bring accessories for those games?
I don't think so. From what it seems here recently, A lot of what they have done has been very like as cheap as possible.
Hmm.
So like they had a Mario Kart steering wheel, and it's obviously for kids, and it's very cheap looking. Uh,
Hmm.
so I don't see them bringing any kind of hardware for games like that. I just don't see that. Now I know they have done. I don't know if it was them specifically or if it was another company, whoever the maker of it is. But they have brought back some of their classics like Cruisin' USA or Cruisin' Blast or whatever that's called.
Yeah.
It's not for me, but they have some of those games that were on console. I don't see them necessarily making a push for arcade games.
I was just thinking that Nintendo would be the one company that would like I miss going to the arcade, and the arcade and Nintendo games were very close to me at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'd go to like Mr. Gaddy's down in Bedford, and then go to a buddy's house and we'd be playing their 64 or GameCube.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I'd like to see Nintendo do something that the other consoles aren't doing.
Well,
More than they are. More than they are.
I say that's kind of what they're what they do anyway. So they're always doing something completely different from the other two consoles.
I'm
Uh,
curious on what's next.
Honestly, I hope that the second screen attachment is what's next.
To make it a
uh,
giant to make it a giant 3DS,
yes,
essentially.
yes.
It could attach from like the bottom and wrap around.
Hmm.
That'd be
But
cool.
it gives it that. Gravy, get back. It gives it that. I guess we're moving on to the software side completely now. It gives it that. What's it called? That sort of need to subscribe to their service.
Mhm.
And when you add value, of course, people will sub more. I sub for the year anyways on their expansion pack tier. Uh, so if you add another tier in and you're putting Wii and DS and 3DS games on there and more GameCube, I would easily sign up for that if you have that attachment. I don't really
Yeah,
necessarily have to worry about any GameCube games because most of them are being remade anyways for the console. Like Metroid Prime
Hmm.
Remastered was fantastic.
yes.
And upcoming soon we have Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year-Old Door coming up. That's gonna be awesome. Tell me any actual other software you'd be looking forward to, Dallas, that you would like to see.
I'd have to take a look at their prices again because they offer quite a bit for their low prices. So it's really hard to complain about their subscription services.
Okay. What about games in general then? Other software.
Uh, I don't know. From what you've said already, I'm kind of on par with you on that. I think adding those 3DS games would be like the next big thing for Nintendo
Mm-hmm.
that I'd be looking forward to
Yeah. I
because
I
they pretty
think
much
they
have
need
it.
to. I think they need to leave put the DS and 3DS
Into one.
on the expansion pack, but they need to keep remaking the GameCube games. A lot of them
Yeah,
were
what all
very
do they have
expensive.
so far? Expansion wise, what all do they got so far? I forget
So for
at
the
the top of my head.
expansion pack, you get 64 games,
Yep.
and you get Sega Genesis.
Sega, that was the other one. Okay.
You also get Game Boy Advance.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And so I think if you add more consoles in there, you wouldn't have as much pressure to put so much software out there every day. People looking for an update on what's next, what's next. You add more and a variety of stuff, people will be okay. They can hold off and wait for the next thing.
How is streaming from the console? How difficult is it? Are you able to like how does that work exactly?
What do you mean by streaming? You need to be more specific. Like cloud streaming?
Uh, yes. Thank you. How does
Uh,
that work?
so it's just like anything else. You've got to have good internet, first of all.
Yeah.
And if you play a game like Kingdom Hearts, it's kind of fucking awful. And I mean, you might as well. Like, I don't understand why somebody would buy a cloud version of Resident Evil on the Switch when you can buy the full version with no problems on your Xbox or PlayStation.
Right.
Because, I mean, in general, if you have a PlayStation or Xbox, most of those families, most of those people have a Switch as well. The Switch is the third most selling console of all time already. So,
Rightfully so.
yeah, rightfully so. And it's my favorite console of all time with how much they've put on it and how much attention they've put into it. Yeah. So that's what I would love to see change. Obviously, extra software, extra this, extra that. You know, I don't really need much. Obviously, an improvement of hardware would make things like what's it called? Pokemon run better. That's another thing I'd like to see change. Is the Pokemon games? I guess I forgot to mention that those games are fucking awful. They run awful. I don't know what it is. I don't know how you can get a game like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and then get the fucking shitty Scarlet and Violet games.
And then it just not be able to run.
Yeah. I mean,
I've seen quite.
It's so stupid, bro. Like,
It's actually not like it's also weird seeing it on the Switch because like we're throughout this conversation we've been saying we'd like to have more of this and extra of this. That's a really good statement to say when it comes to a console or just a service in general. It's like that means they're hitting 10 and batting 10.
right?
So like, but as you just brought up, the redhead, the stepchild of all those brilliant games. You got those Pokemon games that really just don't. It's like they know people are just going to buy them, so they just don't give a shit. And that's something that you see that happens with Xbox
Mm-hmm.
or any other
Yeah.
modern gaming. It's like, hold on, Nintendo, what are we doing here, buddy? Like, let's not jump in, let's not swim in this pond. Let's go back in your own. Like, come out with really good games and they're all full. There's nothing wrong with them. They just go.
Yeah. It sounds like there we go. That's it for Nintendo. Let's head on over to the Xbox side. Now there are some rumors here and there, and with some court document leaks, stuff like that. Everything's leaking every day. But apparently they're looking at the next console to release on 2026. That's about 2 years earlier than 2028, which is when they expect PlayStation to release their next console.
Which is the Pro version, supposedly, right?
No,
Oh, PS6?
the PS6, 2028.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, quite a while. The PS Pro, apparently, the PS5 Pro is supposedly next year.
And there's really not much of a difference, right, at the moment? Or what's the stats on that? I haven't looked into it.
We'll talk about that more when it comes to it.
Okay.
Xbox, back to that. They're supposed to release in 2026. Apparently, there's like not a huge uphill battle with that. I don't see why they're doing it. I think it's a cloud hybrid console.
Probably. It just, I have no interest. I have no interest in it. Unless it's like, unless it absolutely poops on the Series X and it comes with a disk drive is the only reason why I will even bother looking at it.
Yeah.
Because I really don't see a purpose. Like, here's what's going to happen eventually. This is how it's all going to end up happening. Everyone in this house is going to have a Switch, the newest PlayStation, and a PC eventually. Xbox is going to be gone in the future as a
Yeah.
console. It's just going that direction.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I think that's how that's going, inevitably. But this is what the rumors are saying there. So I expect if they're actually going to put out a new console, it's going to be a cloud hybrid console. You know, whether that's a USB stick or a small box that you plug in. I don't think there is any reason to put out a new console that has better graphics, all this, all that, in 3 years when you have the Series X now and you don't support it.
I agree.
Right.
You know, I don't think you put all this money into cutting production on this and that to support the cloud and then release a new console in 3 years to be better than the Series X.
Yeah. They're
So-
shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, it sounds like we're all kind of the same consensus on the hardware. Chewy, you haven't really said much about the hardware side of things, so I mean, what's your opinion? You're arguably the biggest head here for fighting for this, or to have an opinion, because a lot of the games you like to play, a lot of the software you enjoy, is gonna be Xbox exclusive. No matter what
Mhm.
anybody says, no matter if Phil says, case by case basis, he's a fucking liar. That shit's Xbox exclusive, and you know.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think, man?
I get. See, I think as far as that goes, it would be the game companies using a different engine. Because I know that Bethesda had a new engine made for Starfield, and yes, it looks better.
I don't
What?
think so.
I don't think so
I-
either.
I think they did.
Keep talking. I'll fact check that, and we'll see.
Okay. Okay.
Not like fact check you, but just like to just confirm it, because
If that's a new engine, I am fucking disappointed.
yeah, to me that feels like it's the same engine they've been using since Skyrim.
Yeah, I thought it was the same engine. It's just a slightly updated version of it.
Yeah.
It's the same engine.
But well, even if not, that just goes to my point that they need to have a better engine for those kind of games. Because yeah, you don't want to release an RPG that's just buggy all the time or has glitches in it and it kind of ruins the game. Granted, Starfield wasn't as bad with glitches, but you still like to release a finished game, very polished game.
What's
Yeah.
your opinion about it going to
Here is
you know? Sorry.
Here is the info on the engine. So Starfield is using the Creation Engine 2. It's an updated version of Creation Engine that Bethesda has been using since 2011.
Yeah. So Skyrim.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I
how
would
does
like
that-
to see them start from scratch completely and make a brand new game with a brand new engine. Or use Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
Use what everybody else is using and move on and make the games better.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So what does that have?
Unfortunate.
Hold on. So how does that answer? What was your original question, Weston, when it came to him? Were you asking him about what he wishes the graphics would be better on, or what was your original?
So the original question I asked him was, in general, what would he like to see better for Xbox? I mean, because it seems like we're all kind of the same thing on the hardware side. Is there's no real need for it right now, let alone in 2026.
Mhm.
So in software specifically for Bethesda, they've been using the same engine. Uh, if they create a new engine or move on to Unreal Engine, they can create better games that are modern now. They need to learn how to develop games for systems now, not for something earlier on, is what it seems like.
And
The
that, and
set,
just for them to,
our set standard should be looking at the new Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, I mean, FF16 had its issues. They're updating more stuff right now as we go on, but I would say in general, yes, quality should be set
Because
right there. Yeah,
I feel like when I'm turning on a Bethesda game, I feel like I'm turning on the OG 360.
yeah, I kind of feel the same
Like
way.
like I have a really good TV and I'm playing it on the Series X, and I feel like I'm turning on my son's TV and his 360.
Yeah, that's fair. That's where why your opinion was really viewed for me in a different way, Wookie. And I was gonna bring that up for a reason, specifically Bethesda, because I know you really enjoy those games.
yeah,
So let's say you build a PC, right? And
yeah.
you move on. You play those games on PC. Do you buy the new
Hmm.
Xbox?
Oh no, because at that
Right.
point, if I can get the games I can on Xbox, on PlayStation, or not PlayStation, my bad,
PC.
PC, yeah, then there'd be no point to me buying another Xbox.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just update
Or
the
technically,
CPU and everything else.
technically, if you're going to have that argument, you should be doing that now.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what Weston's doing. So if that's your viewpoint on it, you know, probably should jump on that train sooner rather than later.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit before we all hopped on quite a bit. I think everybody should hop on the PC train. Uh, Now, what I will say is if you're sticking and you're only a console guy, period, if you're listening right now, I think you should get a PS5 and a Switch.
Hmm.
Uh, and the reasoning for that is
Quality.
Xbox is still releasing most of their games on the Switch. Or the Ori games, fantastic. They're on the Switch. Cuphead, it's on the Switch. Minecraft, it's on the Switch. Call of Duty's gonna be on the Switch. Any Bethesda game on the Switch besides Starfield right now, but I mean honestly, you could probably play on the Switch or on the Switch 2. Uh, yeah. So there's just no reason to own an Xbox. I feel like I want to play their games. I want to play Fable. You know, I want to play a good Halo game. Uh, Necessarily Gears of War. I think it's time to leave that trend alone for a while and
A long time.
let that stay dead till the next actual console generation.
Or until it gets a full reboot.
Yeah, one or the other.
I'd be fine with them not touching it for 10, 15, 20 years and then completely rebooting it.
Yeah, I feel like and especially you, Wookie, you're a real huge fan of Gears of War. I know that, but I feel like
Yes.
it's just not special.
No, it lost its flavor after 3.
So, you know, what would you be more excited for, Wookie? Would you like to see an upgraded collection, kind of how they did the Masters collection, except for just release it better on launch? Would you rather see that and then the next series, the next game, or would you rather see them start over brand new with Gears of War?
That right there is a good question. Because obviously I want the games that they have as far as 1, 2, and 3, which at this point would just be 2 and 3 to be remastered.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'm, because from what I heard or reading through, that the next game is going to be more open world than the than Gears
5.
5. And I'm not really excited about that aspect. So, honestly, I think for the sake of the game itself, go ahead and remaster it and then pump out the sixth one and be done. Then go through the other ones and make them all open world. Because I feel like they would just make the other games open world. That seems to be the trend. So I'd much rather them keep it the way it is now. Go ahead and make your sixth last crappy game and be done with it.
So you're suggesting they reboot it?
No.
No.
He is suggesting the remastered collection, like Master's Collection, Master Chief Collection, and then make number 6.
And then be done with it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if they were going to remake the new one, or remake Gears 1, 2, and 3 and such, they'll make it worse. They'll make it open world. They'll do what they want to do with it, and I don't want to go through all that. Because then at that point, they would just completely ruin what was there.
I mean, to be fair, it's already been there. There's only 3 good Gears games, 1, 2, and 3.
No, I get that.
And even then, the best of the stories is Gears 2. Gears 3
I get that.
Gears 3 was more like you put the lid on it. It had a better horde mode and a better multiplayer, but even then, it was competing with Halo 3 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and like how the only reason I knew of Gears of War was simply because of you and Eli. I didn't even know it really existed up until that point. That was Gears 3.
Mm-hmm. I really appreciate your opinion on that, because I know it's real, right?
Yeah.
I think I would rather see them do a complete reboot, and here's why. Is Xbox is on a completely different path. I think if they're doing their next gen console, whatever, in 2026, I think you start off with a brand new Gears of War game. Right? It is my opinion. This is kind of like how I would want it to go. But that Gears of War game would set off the tone of the next gen console. You come in heavy next with the Fable game, a new Halo. Obviously, you're going to have all your Call of Duty shit there. Then you're going to have your next Elder Scrolls 6 game.
Because that's going to be, hopefully,
really good.
Good.
Yeah.
It would have to be.
And I think if you do that, then you successfully have brought back the branding of what Xbox is. But you have to execute all those games perfectly. And I think, with all the little stuff in between, you do games like Hi-Fi Rush. You lean on games like, I know it's not perfect, but it's funny enough, but High on Life. You've got Crash. You've got Spyro now. Do another Cuphead. You lean on those little bitty games in between those big releases, those big AAA launches of your Gears of War, Halo, and Elder Scrolls. And I think they can make a huge comeback that way. But they have to execute it right.
I'd like to see Gears of War rebooted, but done with PlayStation instead of Xbox.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I think no. Listen, I think it would do better with a reboot on PlayStation than Xbox. Could you imagine actually feeling the chainsaw go through someone with your controller tie? Could you imagine that? How awesome that would be. You've played God of War. You haven't played Uncharted, but a lot of those PlayStation exclusive games. Imagine if Gears of War was on that, just on the PS5 in general. How better those games would feel and play. And how they would actually pay attention and not be lazy with their games.
Mm-hmm.
I think Xbox would be failing if they rebooted it on their console. I think the best thing they need to do is make Gear 6 and then either share the IP or sell it completely.
Wow. I mean, considering that game was originally developed by Epic Games, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah. That'd be a Tyler
Yes.
anthem.
And
Yeah, the
I know it
people
was
who
originally supposed to be on PlayStation 3, but they had development issues.
Yeah, so I would really like for. I agree with Ty when it said, get your sixth game out there, get your final game out there, call it good. And I agree with you with getting it rebooted, but I want to see it rebooted on PlayStation, not Xbox.
Yeah.
Because I think with the way that Xbox is executing things, running things, it's not. I don't see it. I don't see promise.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just released Spider-Man 2. We saw all the leaks, we saw them all, and we're hyped for him because we know the quality.
Yeah.
But obviously, he's not excited for Gears 6 because he's played Gears 5. So like, there's no hype. So if Xbox was like, "Hey, we're rebooting it," there's not going to be hype for it. But if Xbox said, "Hey, we're selling it to PlayStation," and PlayStation said, "Hey, we're rebooting it," everyone's going to be like, and it's going to be made by this studio who made these games. Could you imagine the hype for that?
Yeah, I think Insomniac's too busy to make Gears of War, and that's who I would give it to if I was giving
Keep
it
in
to
mind,
anybody.
this would be like 10 years from now at minimum. Like they got to get
So
Gears 6 out of the way and done and dead.
I would rather Gears of War stay on the Xbox side, and I would rather see Insomniac do a reboot for Retribution, not Retribution, Resistance. Because one, I'd like for them to work on their own IP. They do a reboot for that because Resistance and Gears of War
They're
are
fairly close.
very weirdly parallel to each other. So I'd like to see that better. Competition's good. If they make a really good Gears of War, Xbox or PlayStation comes out with a really good Resistance. Yeah, you could probably see an actual console war the way it was back in the day with the PS3 and the Xbox 360 generation. I know both those gens failed in drastic different ways, but they both failed and then both had really good comebacks with good games in that generation as well.
Isn't it funny when the consoles start not doing well, the games get better, but then as soon as the consoles start doing better, the games get worse, unless you start looking at PlayStation?
Honestly, I'm kind of interested, and we'll just go ahead and lean into PlayStation at this point. Uh, I I'm would say I'm worried in an odd way about PlayStation. And that being that reason for that is if Xbox decides to pull Call of Duty completely, I just think it will cause PlayStation to make a lot of mistakes trying to play catch up to get a live service game out there of that caliber.
Do you think they would ever pull it like that, though? Because that would be huge. That would be the biggest middle finger,
Do I think
probably
Xbox
ever.
would?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Do you
Yeah,
think Xbox would?
2027 when the contract ends.
Oh,
I guarantee they do it. And
they're gonna be like,
they're allowed to. I mean, they own it.
they're gonna be like, hey, pay X amount of dollars or we pull it, type thing.
If that's the case, I don't think PlayStation would. And then I think they would make a big mistake that way on Xbox's end. Because if I was a console owner and you're telling me that it's not going to be on PlayStation anymore, but I can invest in a portable console hybrid and play all the Mario games, all the Zelda games, all the Pokemon on one console, plus play Call of Duty, I'll just play it over there. It's pretty clear that anybody who's playing Call of Duty didn't give a fuck about the game, period, and what it looks like and the quality of the game.
Yeah, they're balls deep into that Call of Duty juice.
Yeah, so I don't think that really matters. I think they would just move over to the Nintendo, the next console there. But I mean, this is all hypothetical. This is all opinion.
Right.
People, don't forget, we're just kind of just
I
talking
just
out
wish.
what's already there.
So why Insomniac? By the way, I'm curious.
For what?
For you said you would give them Gears if they weren't busy.
Because I think they would make the better game when it comes to that. One, because they already have the experience with Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Now they just don't have time to do that with obviously what has been put out there by them shithead leakers. They are very busy for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Next choice would obviously be Santa Monica. I just want them to worry about their own IPs before they worry about, another.
Trying to take on.
Yeah.
Do you think they would? Do you think they would ever buy it if PlayStation? Well, I'm sorry, if Xbox was selling though.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? They'd be like, "No, that's your shit. You can keep your stank." Like,
yeah. I don't
want
think
your
they would be interested in buying the Gears of War property.
Be like, "Sorry, you can keep your garbage."
Mm-hmm. It's a Western game. Don't forget about that. It's an American game. And PlayStation is Japanese. They tend to align with Japanese stuff. I mean, they've made all them deals with Square Enix for Final Fantasy. I think they lean more into that. I think they lean more into deals with that kind of third party studio. Blue Point. That's kind of the studio they have making remakes and doing all that stuff. I think they keep investing in that studio to make some other stuff. I mean, they're getting ready to have a full on overtake of Bungie. That's inevitable.
Yeah.
That's kind of part of the deal that Bungie made, was they had to make a certain amount of money, or Sony's coming in for a full takeover, and doesn't look like that's happening over there. So you're gonna have Marathon come out. I think PlayStation comes out and says, "Hey, this is now going to be a PlayStation exclusive. Fuck what you guys wanted." That's just all I think happens. I think what they do is Call of Duty goes Microsoft only, and Destiny 3 and the new Marathon IP go PS only.
Yeah, it's always funny seeing that everyone's like the console wars are over, but yet there's still heavy competition between the two.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's trying to compete with anybody anymore. I think in general it's a software competition, not a hardware competition.
Yeah. Who's got the better service? Who's got the better games?
Yeah.
Like, it's no longer, oh, my console's better than yours, because now we all went to digital. So it's no longer. That's probably why they said the console wars are gone. It's because they've made the internal decision to say, hey, by this year there won't be physical.
Yeah, I mean, PlayStation's has had to have made changes. They're starting to release stuff on PC. I think they start to dive into that a lot faster. I don't think you'll see games at a 1.5 to 2 year development for PC. I think you start to see them in 6 months.
That'd be cool.
So,
because again, I mean, like, what's the point in having a digital console if they're putting it out on PC?
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It completely eliminates the reason to have a digital console.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I think, like, you have these few little companies they've bought to help port PC, like Nexus. It seems to me that them and Insomniac are working very well together. So you just buy a small, like, company, do the PC ports, and attach one to each PlayStation studio that's not used to developing for, multiple things. I think Bungie, you leave them alone to develop their own shit. They seem to be able to cross-develop from multiple consoles and platforms, and you just leave that be. But you give support to Insomniac, Santa Monica. Oh, who else is there? Fire. See what Fire. I don't know what Fire Sprite's doing. Yeah. But you give support where it's needed, and I think you'll see more changes coming from PlayStation in the future, especially with a new president coming on, CEO, whatever the fuck Jim Ryan was.
Let's say, how do you feel about the new president coming on?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people think Jim Ryan's been fired. I think that's stupid to say. You don't fire somebody who has
Done very well. Like,
been very successful with the PlayStation 4, navigated the supply of shortage for PS5, and still put them in a place where they're like right on the heels of breaking the record for PlayStation 4 sales. You don't fire a guy like that. I think the dude's just, he's had enough. He's ready to retire, be with family. I mean, he's tired of being around the country. He had the whole Activision Blizzard stuff this year and dealing with those court cases. I think he's just tired, ready to go.
I don't blame him. That's a lot to deal with in the past just 2 years, 3 years alone.
Yep. Now, what I do think they do, and I may sound fucking crazy here, right? Is I think you find a way to put Bobby Kotick in there somewhere. I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, he just helmed Activision Blizzard for a very long time and made a lot of fucking money doing so. Made
one of the few people that
money.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's one of the few good things that came out of that area.
Yeah. You know, whereas some of the stuff was probably malicious and like loot boxes and stuff, but you find a way to put that guy ahead of all your live service games you're working on. I think that's smart.
Like I said before, we should run these companies, make these games.
Well, I mean, there was also what was the name? Like Deviation Games. Do you remember them?
Not at the top of my head.
So they are relatively a newer studio. Okay, a lot of those developers jumped ship from from Activision Blizzard, right? They made a lot of the old good Call of Duty games like Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and, you know, the good shit.
Okay.
Those guys jumped ship. They started a new company called Deviation Games. There was 2 heads at Deviation Games. They didn't get along very well. So a lot of those guys left Deviation Games and they're actually working for PlayStation Studios right now. So we probably won't see any of that for a while. You know what they're doing.
Let it cook.
Let it cook.
Like I said, like I've been struggling with just video games in general because of just quality. So I would rather wait forever for a game to just completely take my life away, rather than wait 2 years for a game that's like, what was the point?
Yeah, and I will kind of this is kind of our send off here for the day, but I mean I will leave it as my last statement. Dad, DeLorean, Wookie, you guys can do your last statement after me. But my last statement for the day is I am just, with video games, I'm just prepared to be more patient than ever and let these changes happen and just go along with the flow and keep writing. And I think eventually things get settled, the changes happen. I think we're going to see some good stuff. I'm really excited that they are being very patient with Fable. Very patient with what's it called? Avowed.
Avowed, yeah.
Let those games, be patient. Put those games out complete, full, and ready. And I think Xbox has 2 easy dubs right there. Something that they've been lacking is really good RPG stuff. PlayStation Studios, keep doing your thing. If something's not right, excuse me, if you think something's trash and you think it's not right, it's not good, don't be afraid to cancel that shit. You did it with The Last of Us Online. I am okay with that. They said that if they had two options to focus on single player narrative games or become a full live service studio, but they could not support both. With the way they're telling stories, I want you to stay on the narrative driven side. I think they made the right choice, the right decision. Let PlayStation figure out the other part of that. Naughty Dog, you keep doing you. Insomniac, you keep doing you. Be patient. Let's cook. Nintendo, whatever the fuck you're doing, do it, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Just keep doing it and do it more.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dadalorian. Last thoughts, buddy.
You've pretty much summed it all up. Like, that's hopefully Xbox gets a couple W's in the future, because we've waited for games forever before and they ended up being ass. So,
yeah.
PlayStation, we trust. You brought up Naughty Dog. Whatever they choose to do, I trust that company just like I would with most of the PlayStation companies they own, or studios. Sorry, studios.
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo, just do more. You got it. Keep going.
Yep.
Keep swinging.
And Wookie, your final thoughts for the day.
Oh, just Xbox do better.
Start feel good, guys.
That's fair.
Just focus on quality, not quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't matter if you have a whole bunch of games out there that suck, no one's going to want to play them. A few games out there that are amazing, it'll take your company further.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Put the team on your backs with the good shit's what Tyler's saying. All right, well, that's the end of the show. Once again, Merry Christmas to you. I hope you all get all the beautiful presents you want. Me, I got some cool new shirts my mom bought me. We had our Christmas yesterday. I got a Superman shirt that I've been eyeing for quite a long time, but I've never pulled the trigger on, apparently. And I bought a bunch of stuff for myself out of the Steam sales. So be looking around for the sales around you guys, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.